Hey, nerds, and welcome to The Gutter. My name is Steve-O. Yes, you do, in fact, get to see our faces. Today, we're going to be talking about E3 2019, things that have been announced so far. And if you were at SoonerCon this weekend and you saw us and hung out with us, then please say hello. Joining me today is Jammin' Eamon.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
This is Alex. Over here is Raven One Lead.
That's me.
How's it going?
It's going quite well. Yourself?
Going great.
All right, so now into the content.
Can't be better. And the long-awaited return of Just Gravy Baby. We also call him JB.
It was so weird being on the other side of that because I'm used to like the and I was like, oh yeah. It doesn't make the noise here.
Well, I actually had it set up to make the noise, but because I think I turned the TV off and then back on, it didn't do the monitor out feed. So I try to have the sound going. Hopefully, maybe you guys didn't even hear it when I did it. But so we're gonna go more or less straight into the show. So I'm not gonna ask you guys what you've been playing. We've been too busy doing shit anyway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a bad week or bad weekend for E3. Next time, Steve-O, if you could let them know to contact us.
Yeah, they need to be more.
Really, for none of us was this a great week.
Right. They need to be more considerate of our lives.
Yeah.
Next year, if we go to SoonerCon next year, they did move SoonerCon to like the 24th, 25th area. So now I won't have E3 and SoonerCon in the same area.
Gotcha.
See, I've been playing a live action version of The Sims, and right now I'm struggling to keep my wife and daughter alive.
From your own hand? Or?
I'm trying to figure out how to enter the cheat codes, but so far the unlimited money cheat's not working.
What if I make the pool and remove the... Did you guys...
I like the idea. My wife jumping in the pool and I'm sitting there...
like taking out the ladder. Sorry, man.
Like a cartoon.
We need it inside.
Hacks! How did you do that?
Have you seen in London they're building an infinity pool on top of a skyscraper that is a 360 infinity pool?
Yeah.
So there is no ledge to it. I mean, there's glass, but there's no... People said, it looks like when I make a pool in The Sims and then remove the ladder. How do you get in and out? Supposedly, it's supposed to work like a spiral staircase, like a submarine, that goes up into the chamber and then fills it like
water?
Some ridiculous thing. Anyway.
That sounds super dangerous.
Someone's
gonna die in that pool.
It's back in the shed.
It's at least a new place to have sex.
See, she wants a pool. Wait, what?
Have sex up in that pool.
Have sex in the infinity pool on top of a London skyscraper?
Of course.
That's yeah.
I mean,
Is this one of those ones where like people on the ground floor can look up and see you? Because then
Yes.
definitely gonna have sex.
It is. Yeah, the part of the thing was that you can see the swimmers above you.
Because that's a great.
all right.
That's always
You go
been-
for it,
that
buddy.
has always
You go
been
for
a
it,
great
buddy.
idea.
Softy, hey, Softy, god damn it. I would love to have you on the show anytime you want, man. Anytime you're in town.
You gotta fight for the couch
I
spot.
should have officially invited you. That part was on me.
Yeah.
That part was on me.
You dropped the
Softy
ball
was
on
here
that one.
last year with Callie and Noodle Rama and
I remember.
did the E3 stuff last year.
showed up.
And they were wonderful. And then we made you wait outside.
No, they didn't. You did. I was like, hey, I'm here. And you're like, sorry, streaming. My priorities are set.
But also viewers have come to me and said, literally, when are you going to have Softy back on? Like, that's an actual question. I've actually gotten Softy. So the answer to the question is, you come in for A-Con, buddy. You come back in for A-Con, for Anime Fest, whatever it is. We'll set you down and punish that body. So...
Go punish that body. Go punish that body. Go punish that body.
Shock.
Shop.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so let's go right into some of the lies. Let's go into some of the announcements. So I'm going to start by sharing with you guys, I think, my moment to E3. This is my favorite moment at E3. I'm not going to show you literally the entire trailer. It's a decent trailer, but this is something that I think that it gave me chills, and so I hope it does for you too.
Oh, that was good for this game. That was good for this
There we go. Now you can hear.
That.
Yeah, I remember being perfectly last year.
This is the moment that it's coming.
Not yet, for sure.
Wait the up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
My boy,
Man, if I could have
Keanu.
Keanu
I
hair,
thought that was Mike.
if I
And then, again, I'm not gonna watch the whole thing. But then they bring him the fuck out.
the audience goes bananas.
Ballistic, yeah. Bananas-listic.
BANANAS.
I can't believe they're selling Heaven in a disc and using Jesus to advertise it.
So this whole thing, like,
But yeah,
Keanu is
God.
like, man, he's happy to be here, and then the audience, like I feel like if they weren't like
Yeah.
in some way restrained, they would have eaten him alive.
Right, yes.
So much hype.
But don't worry, he would have just John Wicked their ass. They would have all been dead.
He's got training. Don't rush him. Yeah, so Cyberpunk 2077, and Keanu goes on to tell us the release date is April 16, 2020. So
Hell
next
yeah.
spring.
Okay.
It's, you know,
It's
So
10
we,
months away.
we might get one more E3 of.
Yes, and
Of
by that point, they're
Cyberpunk.
just like,
Right,
we
right,
are
right.
going to be,
yeah.
we are going to be like, it's going to be like, and here's pretty much the entire game because it's coming out in like a week.
Yeah.
No. It'll be in April, so there'll be no more,
Okay,
no
okay.
more. But oh, it's a good birthday game for Soft Shine.
June,
And,
you made it.
Hello, June. And we have a JB. Yeah, welcome back.
Oh boy, it's a JB.
So Cyberpunk-
That's what June sounds like. Her Norwegian accent comes out real thin there.
I think that's probably a Snapchat filter, if that's what you're getting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Cyberpunk 27. This is not in the order in which things happened, by the way. These were just sort of like the highlights of the Microsoft show. And the Microsoft show was fine. Mm-hmm. I really wish that they had more, like, jaw-dropping shit. The Keanu moment was great,
Oh, yeah.
but they also showed a lot of, you know, like, they talk about the indie stuff a lot, and, like, the
That is
other
shit ton.
development studios that they take in under their wing.
I really like
And
that.
so Sony's not there this year. You should have put on the greatest show you ever put on.
Yeah.
Even needle Sony a little bit, maybe. Like, just for
Well,
funsies,
okay.
right? And it was sort of like a blandishy kind of a show. But they did announce that the next Xbox console is called Project Scarlet.
It's not the name of the console. That's just what they're calling the development.
The code name right now is Project Scarlet, or codename Scarlet. And it'll launch in holiday 2020 with Halo Infinite, which is a good idea marketing-wise. But also, I've had one Halo game this generation. Like, I'm a little bummed. Halo 5 was like the only
Yeah.
one this generation.
Well,
Other than
I
the
mean-
collection obviously came out. But
That's clearly why they're. I mean, that's their selling point. They're like, well, we could do another Halo, or we could wait.
yeah.
Now, here, I do like that it's got a 2020 holiday release. That gives me enough time to continue enjoying my Xbox. It also validates my not buying an Xbox One X. Because I was like, man,
Yeah.
okay, I can get
Yeah.
4K, but then I have to get a 4K. And then they're like, oh, Project Scarlet, fucking 8K. And I was like, there's 8 of them now? Like,
Yeah.
When did that
happen?
That's a lot of Ks.
8K resolution, 120 FPS, solid state drive,
I don't
DDR8
even have
RAM,
that.
Yeah.
TV
and
that can
using
run that. I don't think there are
using
8K
the
TVs.
using the SSD as virtual RAM.
DDR5.
And so,
Is it
like,
fi-
you know,
well,
that's
I
great.
don't- I don't
That'll
know
be-
all this shit.
That'll be the next console I get, maybe. I mean, part of me wants to get a Switch, but now I'm like, or
Shit.
Real Morale on Switch.
Yeah, you're gonna do that. So Double Fine is joining Microsoft Studios, which they were an indie developer now, I guess.
remind me which that.
They made Psychonauts.
Yes,
and
that's
they, among other things. The Psychonauts 2 they showed a little bit of, and a lot of people really love Psychonauts.
Yeah,
I
it was-
haven't ever
I haven't
played
played
it.
I haven't
but-
played it, but I have.
I've heard the hype.
I've heard so much that it's like a really genuinely like phenomenal game,
Like just like fun and
Just,
and silly and
like
and cool.
artistically good quality game.
They announced Xbox One gets remote play to quote unquote anywhere, and so right now you can stream within your own network to a PC, either a laptop or a desktop. So I can go to the living room, pull up my laptop, and play my Xbox One, on that anywhere. But I guess the anywhere, they didn't specify, but I'm guessing the reason they're doing that now is because you can be anywhere in the world and play from your own Xbox, or maybe did they just mean any device, like also my phone?
That's what I didn't understand either, because they said play anywhere, but well, I still need to hook it up to a TV if they're saying anywhere. But if they're saying anywhere, then that means my phone.
You can play your Xbox anywhere. Grab your TV and take it with you.
They said enough to get you excited without actually explaining anything.
Yeah, exactly.
I got you.
Yeah.
With this new thing, you can play
So what I'm assuming
Xbox
About.
places.
Right.
But what I'm getting from that is like everyone seems to be trying to do their own streaming. So we got the Strata coming out with Google. We got Ubisoft announced their
Stadia
thing.
and Ubisoft has their subscription service, which.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm about to shit all over that one.
Oh, we'll get to that. We'll get you.
Maybe we should have a podcast on subscription-based gaming.
No, that's becoming a thing.
Not just streaming, but streaming and subscriptions.
Yeah.
Because I think I like them, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I can understand like one of them. It's kind of like, are you going to get HBO, Netflix, or Hulu? Pick frickin' one, and then just mooch the rest off your other friends.
right.
All right, I chose Xbox. I'm going to get the Xbox streams, which means I'm not doing it.
You get the PlayStation, you get the Nintendo.
Right. So Gears 5 comes out September 10th.
They fast fived it. They did the same thing that they did to the Fast and the Furious movies, like Fast and Furious 1, Fast and Furious 2, Tour, Fast and Furious 3.
It's not Gears of
Fast and Furious 4,
Gears of War, and now it's
Fast
just Gears 5.
And it's not Gears of War 5, it's Gears 5. I'm like, well, then where are
It's
the
not
other
like
four
they're
fucking
not
Gears?
war anymore, right?
But it is.
Are they? Or are they? I don't know.
If it isn't, then I ain't playing.
It's a ping pong tournament.
It's Gears.
It's a farming simulator, and you're working on the tractor.
They don't even get a race. You're just changing gears and trying not to grind them.
Hey, Pool. We're going through the Microsoft conference right now. Everybody took a conference. So, and I like Gears. I won't pay $60 for it ever. But I will play Gears, especially co-op.
Oh yeah, we played
for 15 or less.
Didn't we play Gears 4?
We did. We played Gears 4,
and I played it with you for super cheap, and that was exactly the
and
amount of entertainment I got out of it.
A game in itself was fine, but we had fun with it. So
we had fun because you and I could have
because
fun.
We can make fun
you and I
out
could
of it.
find a banana peel in a dumpster and be like,
we've done that, yeah. We fought over the banana dumpster peel. Remember that?
I recall the dumpster peel.
So they announced a new controller for the new Elite Controller Series 2. So now you can, not only can you switch out, so in the Elite controller you have the paddles on the back.
The sensitivity changes.
You can change the sensitivity of your triggers now,
so you don't have to
and you
hold
can
down
change
as
the
much.
tension with the key of your sticks.
Oh, interesting.
Then you can also set, on the controller itself, it has 3 profile settings that you can set to, let's say you have your Realm Royale setting as 1,
and you need
COD is 2, whatever,
joystick
and you can hit your profiles to pull up your...
I think that was super cool, super late into the game.
Yeah.
Especially
that's a good point.
Like, hey, here's this really cool controller. Also, Scarlet, by the way, coming out. So this probably won't be very useful.
It better be compatible.
What's that?
It better be compatible.
No, I think, and that's the other stuff we need to know, right? But Pool, we saw the trailer for Avengers, but we didn't stay to listen to what they talked about. If you picked up anything on the Avengers, what it plays like, is it co-op, single player?
Is it supposed to exist in the MCU or
MMO?
is it standalone?
Is it basically like, Destiny or Division? That was the other thing that people were wondering. Like, it could be a service game where it has seasons and it's online, but but it's not an MMO. It's you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Destiny.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you know anything about it, please let us know. What else happened? Oh, Phantasy Star Online 2 is coming west finally. It's been in Japan, I think, for a while.
I've seen that,
And Phantasy Star, even prior to WoW, was sort of like the gold standard of MMOs. It was on Dreamcast. I think it was on some Sega stuff, maybe even prior to Dreamcast in Japan. But wildly popular in the Eastern Hemisphere. And now it's coming to the Western Hemisphere. It doesn't mean a whole lot to me, but
that's because it's not been around for us.
But it hasn't been around, so who knows? Maybe
Good luck.
They finally announced officially the Dark Souls devs are making a game with George R.R. Martin from Game of Thrones writer.
That's gonna be awesome.
And it is called Elden Ring. and I'll pre-order that. You don't gotta say anything else.
I don't
already
know.
sold.
I don't know. about
Avengers is 4-player co-op. That makes more sense.
That makes a lot
That
more
feels like
sense,
an
yeah.
Avengers game.
All right.
it. All right.
Yeah.
Well, good. Done. Let's do
Oh,
it.
actually, not sure if you can do it single player.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah. So it may be one of those sort of forced multiplayer games that isn't exactly an MMO, but requires multiple people.
Maybe it's like old school. Y'all remember the arcade, the Avengers game on the
Oh,
arcade?
I remember
where it's
X-Men.
side scrolling.
I remember
Yeah.
losing to X-Men real bad. Do you remember?
I don't know if you guys.
Oh.
By the way, as an adult, they had a 6-player X-Men arcade machine at Barcadia
And that
before
made
they
it-
closed,
Oh,
and
right.
that was fun, I guess. But it was just pandemonium.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's like, do you want to play this on hard mode? Then get your friends.
yeah.
Sometimes you sometimes someone would just leave the game playing, and there's just that character. You have to like play 2 characters at the same time.
Oh, move with the elbow and then click. Yeah. What else do we have from Microsoft? Battletoads. They showed Battletoads
Yeah.
gameplay, and it plays just like Battletoads
Yep.
did. 3-player co-op, both local and online, I believe.
Yep.
Looks just like the game I remember.
The art style is very stylized. It's cartoony.
It looks like Castle Crasher style, like very.
and I want to like
very
it,
much.
but that's not what I was wanting. I was wanting
I
the same brawler style, but more 3D.
so having
Pretty.
well,
You know what I mean?
Didn't they do
Kinda,
that with
yeah.
the Turtles in Time? They tried to do a reboot of Ninja Turtles, and they did practically.
Yeah, they did like a semi 2.5D or something kind of thing.
So I never played Battletoads, but I've watched a lot of it. I was around a lot of people who played it, so like it does have a sense of nostalgia to me because it was a part of my childhood that I never played but was aware of.
Yeah.
And this one looks like, I'm like, hey, good effort. I don't know that it's gonna pay off for you.
Right.
Like you're. I think the reason Battletoads is brought up these days in conversation is because it's like, hey, remember that hard game? Not, hey, remember that game we still want to play.
Right.
So it was the sequel nobody was asking for.
So I will watch it. It's literally an art style thing, and I normally like cel shaded and animated. I normally do. I'm like, it's very expressive and it's fun and it's colorful. But this specific thing, I was like, oh man, I was just looking for something else. Well, play stuff co-op.
Yeah.
So the other thing, then they just announced a shitload of titles. I'll just sort of run through these because they didn't necessarily. They weren't necessarily. Well, some were new and didn't mean much to me, and some were just sort of like re-announcements of stuff they'd already had. So Flight Simulator's coming back, Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Okay.
Looks really pretty.
Looks good.
Looked
Yeah.
sharp.
Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which
That looks cool too.
you're a DBZ dude, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
I got
and it
Dragon
looks
Ball Z
good.
Fighters. Yeah. it
You
looks
gotta tell me
badass.
because I look at that and I'm like this. None of this means anything to me. So
Oh, it looks good.
Looks good.
I'm excited for that.
Okay.
I look like a Dragon Ball Z character.
I want to see if it's the same fighting that they use in Dragon Ball Z Fighters.
it's a story game though, right?
Yeah.
Not a head-to-head fighting game.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm still imagining it's still gonna have like the same.
I'm sure there's fighting in it, of
mean, yeah.
course. But
if it wasn't, watch his Goku pay his taxes.
That is the Avenger name. I don't know.
So Obsidian, who did Fallout New Vegas, not Fallout 3 or 4, but New Vegas specifically.
They're actually the original guys.
And the original
Yeah.
Fallout
Yeah.
dev team. They're doing a game called Outer Worlds, and they announced the release date is October 23rd.
Really,
I can't wait for that.
like
It looks really Fallout-y.
it does.
But-
And I recognized it when I saw that their mouths were moving. I was like, it moves like Fallout. Look at their mouths move.
Yeah.
They can't do it right. They can never do it right. But there was like something in it that looked really intriguing to me, and I can't remember. It's like Fallout, but like 70s Fallout, like disco Fallout.
Yeah.
I don't know what I knocked down
Yeah.
there, but
I think it was the mic, but I think you're fine. Unless it broke everybody's ears. Then Ninja Theory, who made Hellblade, the DMC reboot, Heavenly Sword, they're doing a 4v4 competitive online multiplayer game called Bleeding Edge, which is all melee based. So most online competitive games are shooters, and this being a melee based one, I guess For Honor is
so
a
it's
melee
like
based
it's
one.
like a Smash
Team
Bros meets what's that big game right
Call
now?
of Duty?
Overwatch.
Overwatch.
It's like
Okay.
Smash Watch.
yeah, a little Smash Watch. That's a good way to put that. It's called Bleeding Edge, and then that Forza is getting a Lego DLC. And that's interesting for a
Yeah.
non-Lego game to have a Lego DLC in their game.
That is brave, and I applaud them for it.
So when they showed the car, I was like, I hate it when they put fucking cars on stage because I don't give a shit. Oh, it's made of Legos?
Fuck yeah!
That was cool.
Nice.
I saw the trailer, and I didn't know. Like, I thought it was a whole new game because I'm not up to date on those games.
Yeah.
And then they showed the Lego car going by, and I was like, that's weird.
That's a weird thing.
So what I was thinking when I saw that, like, man, that'd be really cool if Forza then did like a Hot Wheels.
Right.
I love
Forza
that.
Hot Wheels, that'd be
they're
really
kind
cool.
of going, playing with Legos now.
I think so far this is probably the weirdest announcement of E3 that I've seen. They announced a Blair Witch game, and I'm fucking there for it because I love the Blair Witch series.
I like a good horror game.
This is so strange to me. What is it? And then the guy standing in the corner at the end, I was like, this is Blair Witch.
Even then, I was like, no, it isn't. And then they showed the stick figure, and I was like, no, it's not. And then it went Blair Witch next to it, and I was like,
maybe they spelled it differently.
why? Why? Great. I'm there for it. I'm gonna buy that game when it comes out, but why?
Isn't that better than if they tried to reboot the movie or redo the movie? Like, so
An
many
interactive experience
So
is
many
probably
horror
the best way,
movies
yeah.
are being rebooted. Like, they're doing Child's Play, and I'm not that excited for it. But a Blair Witch game, they're like, hey, take what was originally scary about that first movie before that became saturated. Now they have all sorts of found footage movies. But now you're in control of the character. I feel like that was if they wanted to do Blair Witch and do that story again, making it a video game was the wise choice.
Yeah.
So last thing before we move to Bethesda is, did you get Game Pass Ultimate? It was actually, that's what I was going to talk about. So Microsoft's been working their Game Pass a little bit, or expanding it, I guess.
Well, yeah, it's like,
right now, Game Pass is $10 a month. And then the cheapest way you can get gold is $60 a year. So that's basically $5 a month. They're announcing Game Pass for PC now. Which is $9.99, and you have access to 100 titles, and you can download them and play them offline. You don't have to have an internet connection, but you know,
The
for
accounts
PC.
are linked.
But if you take Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Live Gold and PC Game Pass and bundle them together for the Ultimate Game Pass, it's $14.99 a month. Which to me is a tremendous value.
it's because you already pay for Game Pass and you
I
already
pay
for
$10
gold.
a month. Yeah, so I'm basically getting
you're paying
the PC
them the
Game
15,
Pass for
might
free.
as well get the 15. Might as well get the PC for free.
Yeah, easy. So I thought that was cool.
I think I think that's a great idea. I haven't decided if I'm going to do that. Not because I don't have the money to, but because I don't have the time to game as much as I want to right now. But if I was, I would absolutely do that.
And
that's a good bargain.
There were a couple of missteps here that I sort of wanted and didn't get, which was I really wanted them to lean into crossplay a lot, like real heavy.
Yeah.
Okay, Sony's not here this year. You've been sort of trying to champion some crossplay out there. You're gonna do this Xbox PC whole thing, so just blow the doors wide open and blow my mind. And I was really hoping for that, and I didn't get it.
Yeah.
So that was like my bummer.
Yeah, because
from-
I know one of my roommates, he plays Ark, and I have Ark on PC, but he plays on Xbox, and he was saying that I could get the Microsoft subscription from my PC, get the game, and then play with them that way through crossplay. But that's a lot to do.
Yeah, it is. It is. And Pool, you said you picked up the Ultimate Game Pass, and you ended up having now paid for it all the way through 2020 of next year.
August of
August of 2020. That's fantastic. Yeah, go for it, dude. I think I that was a pleasing. I was like a very yeah, I'll do that moment for me. Okay, Alex, take us into Bethesda. That was a Sunday night. So Microsoft was a Sunday afternoon. Bethesda was Sunday evening.
Yeah.
For us. What happened?
So I had a bunch of notes, but I left them at work.
That's okay. Highlights will work.
Yeah. So I did a quick little thing. So I guess quick things. Let's see. We got.
They didn't bring Andrew CK back to play music, did they?
No.
Okay. Did they play any? Did they have a band play music at all, or did they just show video games?
I think it was just all video games.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember any bands
That's
playing
fine.
at all. No.
Okay.
But yeah. So so we have Elder Scrolls. We have that coming out for the Wii or the Switch. They're calling it Blades.
I was about to.
I always mix those for some reason. But I'm sorry. Yeah, Switch. So we got Elder Scrolls Blades coming up for the Switch, so they're calling it like Switch Blades. And then they have Legends.
And that's the mobile version, right? It's sort of like an Elder Scrolls, sort of slidey, combat-y.
You're supposed to be able to like
thing.
use the Wii controllers or play it on your mobile phone.
Yeah. Okay.
And then there's Elder Scrolls Elsewhere, and that's a new expansion for Elder Scrolls Online.
Right.
And so
We have ESO players in our chat usually.
Awesome.
So they're probably. I'm gonna guess if you pay for an MMO, getting more of your MMO is probably never bad.
Yeah.
I saw that, and it doesn't excite me, but I imagine that I'm not the target audience.
You're right. Yeah. Yeah.
So like, looked pretty.
it's cool.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have like.
Also, this was kind of the year of cinematic trailers. I know that we complain about that a lot, but usually, hey, Tillyfire, howdy. Usually, you just say that looks cool, but I want to see gameplay. But this year, with the exception of like Jedi Fallen Order, which they also had at the Xbox show, where they did show gameplay, and it looks a lot combat-wise looks a lot like The Force Unleashed, which to me is a good thing.
Yeah, I was about to say, any Star Wars game I've ever played, The Force Unleashed is the one that got combat perfect.
Yeah.
You feel like you are using the Force.
Yeah.
And so any Star Wars game from here on out, if you cannot do it better than that, just do that.
Just do that. Yeah.
Because that is
but
perfect.
that game wasn't called the Force. That was like the thrust. You were like,
With the exception of that
Tearing
game,
it
though,
up.
a lot of stuff we saw was just cinematics, including the Elsewhere stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's there's Fallout 76 coming out. That was a lot more trailers. They're introducing the second phase of their game, where
Is it the one that people buy?
Wastelanders. Yeah, I hope
Like,
so.
this
I mean,
time,
it actually,
buy it.
I think it kind of looks. At least it's more developed, and hopefully they've worked out all the bugs on there.
This is pretty,
But-
this is pretty common for a game. So many games that have started off shitty now are fantastic.
like the No Man's Sky.
Like No
and
Man's Sky,
yeah.
even the
Yeah.
First Division, like got so much better. So
I remember like being hyped for Fallout
Yeah.
76, and I was like, "Oh, we're gonna buy it, we're gonna play it." And
I kind of waited a week just to hear what everyone was saying, and then it was just like shit. And I was like, wow, this sounds
Yeah.
really bad.
yeah,
Don't-
I could still go to it, but
Yeah, if they fix all the stuff in there and make it a lot more better,
Yeah.
because now they're introducing like NPCs, and then they're also introducing a battle royale part to it too. Now.
yes, and that sells me pretty easily.
So that sounds a lot of fun.
yeah.
Like I think I'd be up for that. And
What were you
there's-
gonna say?
Oh, I was going to comment on Pool. Don't pre-order anything,
Oh, of course.
ever. Make them earn your money.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what it is, I don't care if it's a car, if it's a video game, if it's a graphics card, whatever it is, don't pre-order anything in life ever. Make them earn your money. I'm not saying don't buy it. It might be
Right.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Just don't give somebody money before they've
Done anything?
done
for you?
anything for you.
Yeah.
That's how
I
you get
agree.
disappointed. Yeah.
All right. So let's see what else we got. So there's a new game coming out, Ghostwire Tokyo from Tango Games.
That was one that I tried to look up, but I didn't get a chance to. But I saw people reacting to it.
Sure. Okay, so yeah, I was trying to look up some stuff before because, I mean, I had my notes and I was just trying to do some quick notes before I got here. But I really couldn't find much on the game at all besides that it's like a horror game.
Okay. But other than that, we don't know if it's third person, first person, like sneaky horror, survival horror. We don't know anything else
No,
about it.
really.
Okay.
Just the trailer that they released.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it looks great. And, I mean,
June's
Tango
not going to
Games,
listen to you, Daniel.
Yeah, I'm not surprised even a little bit.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And Tango Games, they did Evil Within, so, I mean, they got some
Right.
credit behind them on
Yeah.
that. Let's see what else we got. There's another new game coming out from Arcane Studios, Deathloop. Those are the same guys who did Dishonored.
Yeah. So that's like there's two main characters, and whenever one of them dies, they respawn. They come back.
Is that
like
the,
they,
like
but they
the
know
12
they have.
minute you're in a box?
No, that's a different one.
Oh.
That's 12 minutes was in the Microsoft one actually,
Okay.
and it was a single room, and the same 12 minutes loops around, and you try to like.
It's a
beat 'em.
mystery.
And I think it's
Okay.
made by the people that made Way Out.
Okay, okay.
I think.
But yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
But this one is, I think you can play as either main character, hunting because they're two assassins, but whenever they assassinate the other person, they just like reset, and I think both of them retain the memories of the reset.
Oh, okay.
So it's
And so
spy
it
versus
looks
spy.
Yeah. Yes.
Like taken seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
was the impression that I got. But that looked cool.
Yeah, that did look cool. So yeah, we'll see
And
how that
Arcane's
one-
making it, and Arcane's done Dishonored
Right.
and Prey.
Yeah, Prey.
So like good first-person action game.
Yeah, so that I'm looking forward to that one. Let's see what else we got. We got Wolfenstein 2, and that looks great too. To be honest, I haven't played the Wolfenstein games, but I mean,
Is Wolfenstein 2 getting? Wolfenstein 2 is already out.
I'm sorry, the
but
Wolfenstein.
it's the
I didn't write it down.
they have their
like a
co-op
DLC.
game, New Blood or Youngblood.
Youngblood. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what it was, right?
Youngblood
Isn't that the co-op
is
where
the
you
one.
play
co-op
the
one.
two
His
girls?
two twins, yeah.
Yeah,
And then they're also putting Wolfenstein in VR.
yeah.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
Yeah.
That's an.
yeah, I mean that's I think pretty much from Wolfenstein. Rage 2. There's Rage 2 coming out. I haven't played the other ones, but that one looks like a lot of fun.
I forget which one Rage was.
I imagine like Borderlands, but you can just do a lot of crazy shit. In there.
Imagine Borderlands mixed with Doom. It's very quick-paced action. So Rage 2 is out, but they're adding a bunch of stuff to it. They're adding new characters and new weapons and new maybe missions and stuff to it.
Did I
But
miss
it's like
that game completely?
it's like super colorful and it's very like superhero-y, where you can like pound the ground and people explode into blood and you
Okay.
shoot and grab stuff and throw it and explode, and it's just like complete wacky mayhem-y shit.
Yeah.
I think I actually remember what that. Yeah. Okay.
And then so along with Microsoft introducing their streaming service, Bethesda's also doing theirs called Orion, and so their streaming, it's they're saying you can stream in 4K, 120 frames per second, and
Yeah, they did a live demo of
they were playing Doom.
A gal brought up the most recent Doom on her, like she had a controller like with a phone and was streaming it to the phone,
yeah.
playing it from the cloud, and it was lagless and in perfect resolution and 120 FPS.
Yeah, it was streaming. It looked like it was streaming perfectly.
So now we're in a streaming arms race. There's the subscription deals that are coming out, and now streaming, where maybe you don't have to download and keep any hard drive space, because maybe we are getting to the point where the technology is good enough to beam that to you.
I just find it hard to believe that it is. That it's even, not only that it is,
That it can
but
stream
that
in
it's-
4K in the 120 frames per second.
No.
Oh, okay.
That you can stream laglessly from the cloud, because you cannot do that. You cannot play a game, an online game, laglessly from a
not the
downloaded
cloud.
game. Like you can't. Let me know if anybody has done that. Played an entire game.
I mean, and
Without
over,
lag, that
over
is
the
on your
network
computer.
and like Wi-Fi nonetheless.
Yeah. So
Right.
Yeah.
I 100% do not believe it.
I feel I'm kind of skeptical on it too.
Like I think that maybe we will get there, but I don't even think that this
Yeah.
is like, oh, soon. Like no,
mean,
guys, like
what if you
our
just took
grandkids
your-
might be able to do it.
But what if you just optimize the existing sort of network infrastructure
Yeah.
so that we could play video games
we-
together without getting booted from a
we can just
from a
play that
screen?
first.
Why when I was playing Rainbow Six Siege on my Xbox, where it's like I want to join a game and it went nah, and also you're disconnected from your party.
Yeah.
Just stop that shit and I'd be happy.
yeah, like I don't.
Yeah.
And so okay, all right. And so the last thing we just Doom Eternal. So that's the new Doom game that Bethesda's
Is
making.
it a sequel to the most
Yeah,
recent?
is it a sequel? Is it DLC? What is it?
I don't think it's either. I think Doom. It kind of seems like they're going back to like the original kind of Doom style. Like I remember playing Doom like back on the PC, where it was that really like I don't know, almost 2D kind of side plane scrolling, and then it kind of evolved into a more darker Doom. And so it looks like now it's just kind of going back to kind of the computer-esque style, where it's kind of arcade style.
Yeah, I got the feeling that it's a standalone title though, like
Yeah.
that you don't have to have Doom 2016 or Doom 2015.
Not that
whatever.
any Doom game is played for the story,
Sure.
but yes, I think it's like
I think it's
standalone.
standalone. Yeah.
Like, well, now I don't know what's going on. Why am I
didn't
jumping
mean
in his
standalone.
skull?
I meant that it's not an expansion to the already existing game.
Like, is he bad, or did he deserve
Downplay
it,
it,
or
right.
what?
Okay, next up after Bethesda was the PC gaming show, which is
All right.
always which is always the show where like Cal and I will tend to order pizza or like take a nap, and we're just gonna let you guys keep watching the game show while we take a nap, and then we'll be back for Ubisoft later. So
Yeah.
I signed it to you.
Yeah, and I watched it.
Sounds like an easy
I
one.
missed.
Oops.
Were you angry with him? You're like, you get PC.
I figured he'd be the one that could handle it. It's honestly the thing. How long was it? Because normally a PC game show is like 3 or 4 hours.
It was not. It was an hour and 40-ish.
Okay.
Just under 2 hours.
That's completely handleable.
Yeah. Just under 2 hours. I missed maybe 20, 30 minutes of it kind of in there as helping my roommate move out. Geez, how do I... All right.
What were some highlighted games?
I will sum it up for you and then give a couple of games that like stuck out. If you like MMORPGs, there's going to be 1,000 of them.
Uh-huh.
If you like indie games, there's going to be nothing but.
Well, I mean, yeah, I like indie games.
Your cup runneth over.
Empty
There
suitcase.
you go.
You don't want to know what I've got in here.
So, a couple of neat ideas of the indie games that I'm sure are not going to be very good, but like I like the idea of it, so maybe it will be. But one was and I'm sorry, I also left my notes at home, and I wrote down the title of every single game they showed and wrote at least one note for every single game. Some of them was, what is this game? But I wrote a note. I wrote something. I left that at home. So I don't remember the titles, but there's one where while you're playing, the screen is kind of divided up into sort of triangles. And the present is in the middle, and then the past is on the left and the future is on the right. And so as you make decisions based on what you saw in the past, you see in real time how it affects the future.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That sounds really cool.
So
Yeah.
the concept is there.
Yeah,
I like that
exactly.
concept.
Yeah. There were a couple games like that. I was like, oh, that's really neat. I wonder if that's going to be any good because never heard of these people.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really cool. If anybody knows the name of that, like, let me know.
I mean,
Sorry, I
I'm
don't
gonna
have it.
think it's called, Triangles.
rewatch it.
Yeah, Triangles. So Triangles looks like an interesting concept.
Yeah.
The other one which was interesting in a like, I don't know sort of way. It's kind of a detective game, and I cannot tell if there's any actual gameplay or if it's point and click. But you watch pre-recorded live videos, and you have to kind of piece together this story
Can't find it.
based on what they say. So like somebody will like has a pre-recorded video and they're talking about a thing and they mention, I don't know, something, an old girlfriend or whatever. And so then like you do a search in the database for a word that they mention and it brings up other videos. And so like you're kind of watching all of these pre-recorded videos trying to piece together this elaborate storyline. And it was like an interesting concept.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So like
That's what he said.
not so much I was about to say kind of CSI, but like it's not
Chris Tales? Was that the name of the last one?
that sounds yes. Chris Tales. I believe.
With the past and the future and the
Yeah.
triangle.
Yeah. That was the name of one of them that I saw.
Okay.
There were a lot of indie games.
Crystals.
Chris
Crystals
Tales.
and diamonds and
Storyline.
triangles
Yeah.
and crystals. Chris
It
Tales.
jogged my memory. There's a game out called GeoGuessr. Have you heard of GeoGuessr? Softy plays it a lot on his stream. And what you get is basically Google Maps the game, but what it is you get a street view, and I think you can maybe rotate within the street view, or maybe it is just literally one frame. But the game is to guess the city and state that you're in.
Oh, okay.
Just based on what you see. So you have like, okay, a road. Now I'm going to research where these, like this name of this road, and where's is that a pizza place? Like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
putting together that. And so when you said it was sort of like, it sounds like YouTube Analytics, the game.
I was thinking something like that.
That
too.
reminds me of the
Like a-
Google Maps
like a
game I've
rabbit
played
hole
before,
of
where you have to
YouTube
pick a
videos.
random spot and then you have to find your way to the nearest airport to fly home on Google Maps.
Oh,
So like they could drop you off in like the middle of Turkey, and then you have to find your way to the nearest Turkish airport, and you're like, I win. That's what you just reminded me of.
Interesting.
Except that's like not an actual game that's in development. Someone's just like, hey guys, go to Google Maps.
just
I
go
was gonna ask,
have
is that
fun.
a game you play with yourself?
Yeah, it's just like a hey, if you're bored and you need to crush 3 hours, go.
Hey, Trexus.
But this is like there's an actual like plot. There is an existing storyline.
Okay.
And you have to uncover it by and I think there are multiple storylines. So
Yeah. There's multiple playthroughs that you can do.
Yeah, so I think none of these games were presented very well at all in terms of I know nothing about I know gaming, but I know nothing about these games, titles, or developers.
I wouldn't
Show me
expect indie
something
games to.
that like
Yeah.
so half the games like they would show a trailer and then they would move on to the next game, and I was like,
Most of the time, indie
What is
games don't
that?
even have instructions in them.
what is that?
Like,
What is this game?
Sure.
Mutant. Wait, you played it?
Mutant Year Zero?
Yes, I think there's a sequel to that coming out.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's exciting.
There's a moose in it now.
Fucking A. Okay, so Mutant Year Zero is kind of like XCOM.
oh, sweet.
Oh
I've
yeah,
seen that
with all
one.
the animal,
pig.
the like
the mutant
anthropomorphic
animals and stuff. But instead of, so in XCOM, you do a mission, and then you either fail or complete the mission, you go back to the hub every time, you know? And you click on the menus to like do stuff and like build your base or whatever, and then you go out and do missions. Mutant Year Zero is just open world exploration with sneaking in it. So
Like,
what you
you
can
can,
sneak
like-
through, and you can see where people are, and you can maybe wait for one guy to walk off, use silent stuff, and take him down before initiating combat with
Right,
the rest
and
of
it's
people.
not gridded until you go into combat mode.
Right.
Like you can free
sweet.
roam and
Yeah,
it's
you can just
free
go around
roam.
and explore, and then when it goes into combat, then it's turn-based like XCOM.
Okay.
So to me, it was perfect, because
That is-
XCOM stresses me the fuck out.
Yeah.
But this was like, oh yeah, I love the turn-based tactical, thinking about stuff, blow the stairs out and watch them fall, or, you know, use my abilities or whatever.
Use the environment.
Yeah, and use the environment around me.
Yeah.
But especially because XCOM 2 has you on a timer. Like, unless you are actively going out and getting resources, you will game over.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just sit back and go, well, let's just do some missions. Let's just have fun. Nope.
I spent
Anyway.
a good 12 hours straight playing that game.
Which one? XCOM 2?
XCOM 2.
Yeah.
Speaking of sneaky games, there's a weird indie shell-shaded game, because they're all shell-shaded,
Anything
where
they're all
you're
weird.
a 6-year-old boy that was, I guess not abandoned, like your mother gives you to this monastery. And so you
Sounds
have
pretty abandoned to me.
That sounds shady as hell.
Yeah.
That's very cell shady.
And so yeah, so you have
Good
to
luck.
you have
Cover
to
your butt.
escape the monastery
Mm-hmm.
and find your mother.
And take revenge?
I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, there's that one. There's
Like an
Shark
escape room.
Baby
Man-Eater.
Shark? Oh, Man-Eater is a game that is either in beta or maybe is out. But it's asynchronous multiplayer where you have like 4 divers and one versus 1 shark.
Oh, it's like that Prey game, except
It's sort of like a Dead by Daylight or something.
Yeah. So this is the sequel to
not
it.
Prey.
Oh, okay.
And the way they describe it is it's not an RPG, it's a shark PG.
Okay.
Yeah. Is this your first E3? Is this your first time watching E3
No,
live?
I watched it with y'all last year.
Did you watch last year?
I said
Okay.
1 or 2,
Yeah.
but
Get the marketing speak is lots of fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we're all to that point now where if you get up there and you go, we have innovative and unmatched gameplay. If I'm in the audience, I'm gonna go, shut the fuck up. Like that doesn't mean anything now.
You will never go to.
Yeah, I will never do that. I would never, ever, ever do that. But I get upset now when they. So that doesn't bother me. A
Yeah.
shark PG. Okay.
Yeah.
Sit down, you piece of shit. But it's the unparalleled.
That sounds though like the exact
Innovation.
kind of joke I would
then-
make if I was up there. I was like, "It's not an RPG, it's a shark PG."
Waka waka.
And then you go, please clap.
Games.
So, they describe it as GTA 5, but you're a shark. And that's what it looks like.
Okay. Now that
You
that I
swim
will
around,
look
you,
See-
you eat things, you eat people,
That sentence.
Or not.
or not, I
that
guess.
sentence made me more interested in the game
Yeah.
Yeah.
than every other sentence before it.
And I I think after like a couple of notes on the game, I wrote down JB question mark? Like, this might be a JB game.
Could be a JB
If it's a shark game, it's hit or miss because it might scare the pants off me so bad that I will never touch it.
Mm-hmm.
Or it might be like the most awesome thing I've ever thought and seen and played.
There's coming out another sequel. There's a lot of sequels.
Yep.
A lot of sequels. Sequels and indie games. That was it. Called Chivalry 2.
I think I heard that one.
It's going to be a Sam game. Where you partake.
Hold the door open for people.
Yeah, like
Milady.
Tip your hat. Yeah.
You pay extra $5 or pre-order, you get the fedora.
Yes.
It's it's medieval fight scenes, and the combat looks really good. And like I wrote down like, oh, combat looks really cool. Like the hand-to-hand, it's very fluid. And one of the things that they described immediately after I wrote that down, they're like, oh, tell us about the combat. They're like, yeah, like most of the time in games, you'll do a motion and then your character like resets and then you do another motion. Mm-hmm. And they put a lot of effort into making it seem way more fluid, way more real.
Yeah.
So they describe it like when you're swimming, if your right arm is stroking, your left arm is still also doing
something.
And so like everything you do is way more flowy.
Which is
so it looks really good.
Really terrible, or it's going to be like oh god, what was Arkham Asylum?
Yeah.
Where it's just like you push button and Batman does the rest.
Does the stuff, yeah.
I don't think, Jen asked you eat people in GTA. I don't think that there's a cannibal DLC.
Have you tried?
Yet.
I feel like if
Is there a zombie
if
mode?
we say no to that, it's just because we haven't tried hard enough.
Yeah.
There's probably a way, yeah. Okay, cool.
That was kind of neat. I guess one of their big things is you can reenact a lot of medieval fight scenes from movies.
Oh.
I think they mentioned a Game of Thrones one. Somebody was yelling at me, so I missed like what it was. But the thing I heard was, "Don't worry, not from the last season." Ha 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 ha.
Mm-hmm.
So I assume there's a Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I would want the fight scene from The Princess Bride between the two.
Oh yeah, that would be fantastic. But this is more large scale.
I was going to ask.
You have one-on-one battles.
Yeah, you have one-on-one battles
within
a huge
grand
like
battle. Gotcha.
Yeah, and like you can like lay siege on castles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that looked pretty cool. The big ones, which now I am blanking on. Borderlands 3?
Yeah. Borderlands 3.
They showed that. It exists.
Borderlands
As somebody who
3's
doesn't know much about Borderlands, the only thing I can tell you is there's a Borderlands 3.
Also, they're adding another DLC chapter to Borderlands 2
to set
to prep you for 3.
Borderlands 3.
Which
and
to
I
me
think that's great.
Is a great idea.
It gets you.
I am sick of fucking Borderlands DLC because this is like their 12th DLC for the game. And most people are going to say this is a good thing. All of their DLCs are fully featured DLCs. It's not like Horse Armor.
It's free DLC.
This is a new chapter, a new story and new stuff to do. And that's awesome. But also it means that to play through all of Borderlands 2 for me takes about 250 hours, not counting the side missions. And so I get like, really burnt out. Oh, free DLC.
It's too grindy, which is my issue with Borderlands in general. And let's get rid of your complaints and let's assume that there weren't that many DLCs.
Sure. Releasing
a DLC for the previous game just a little bit before the sequel comes out, I think is a generally cool idea because it helps reignite your nostalgia. You're like, oh my god, I love this. I forgot. I'm ready.
One of the games that we're gonna do,
I totally get that.
Wednesday nights, I'd have to figure out who's gonna do it. But I do want to play through the Borderlands pre-sequel, doing 4-player online co-op. So that'll be a thing that we stream at some point.
It's one of my favorite.
You like
stories.
the pre-sequels?
I like the whole Borderlands series.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool.
So two more things. One, big news in Terraria, huge news.
Oh really?
Absolutely ginormous news.
He's being sarcastic.
Something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can't
They-
remember.
You know it well.
They
I
played
actually got super excited. I was like, I haven't played Terraria in forever.
No,
yet.
but, I mean, maybe it's going to be super cool. I don't know. They showed
But they
gameplay.
said prep yourself because something's coming. See ya.
They showed gameplay of the new DLC for it. Looked like Terraria to me.
Yeah.
I didn't notice anything different. And then like it was really weird. It didn't seem like it ended. It seemed like it like cut. Like there was a mistake.
The Sopranos.
Like it just stopped
Yeah.
playing. And then they didn't. Nobody on stage ever once said the word Terraria. Ever. So like they played it as if it was meant to be there, and then it like the video messed up or whatever, and they
What-
just went on to the next segment.
What if they weren't ever supposed to play that video and they put the wrong video on? And then they were like, well, we just put random footage of Terraria. Whoops.
I mean, maybe,
I mean, did you see a game studio or anything?
but no. Like it just showed it showed Terraria, and then the name
people,
of the new
people were
DLC.
talking or whatever, and then they faded to a video.
To a video.
It played for a little bit.
Yeah, for a while. It wasn't
And then-
oh, oops,
And then
It was
stopped
like-
mid sentence.
And then I mean,
then
there,
came back and they
yeah,
were
like
talking
there was
about
no there was no words. It was
Yeah.
just gameplay and music, and it just like there was no fade out. There was no fade in the music. It was just like click, done, and then moving on to the next thing.
We did talk about Bethesda, but what I want to know, Joseph, is Elsewhere, the stuff that they announced for Elsewhere. How excited are you being an ESO player? And are you good with Bethesda when they do DLC and expansions for ESO? Are you good with them basically only doing it in cinematic form? Or would you like to see gameplay? Now, maybe you don't need to see gameplay because you're in an MMO, and an MMO that is, you get added content, but it's probably not like you have a new graphics engine or a new physics engine or anything like that. So you know what gameplay is like.
Yeah.
So is it necessary? That's what I want
On
to
a scale of 1 to cocaine, how excited are you?
Yeah.
I mean, for you still got more, don't you?
Yeah,
Yeah, go for it. I was just gonna say.
Vampire game Masquerade something or another.
Oh, Vampire the Masquerade.
Yep. There it is. 2 sequel coming out. And I can't tell if it's supposed to be an MMORPG or if it's story based. Like I don't know, but you're like a teenage vampire and you have to survive.
Okay.
Or
They're
like
playing
you're
like
just turned and
Teenage Vampire.
Playing
I
like
saw
a-
that movie. It was terrible.
yeah. I think I wrote down Vampire Diaries the game.
Okay, fantastic.
And then the last one, which was kind of neat, and I can't remember the name of it, but the video game where they took Dungeons and Dragons and like made it into like a video game. They are creating another one, and a
Oh, I
new
heard
group
about-
of people are involved in it.
Are we talking about like the Waterdeep or Boulder's Gate?
Yep, that's it.
Oh yeah, Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate is coming back. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
And what's really neat is that the same company that's making the game is releasing a tabletop D&D that is going to act as a prequel to the video game.
Oh shit, that's a good idea.
way.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's brilliant.
That's a damn good idea.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah.
Shit, like
I'd play that.
I didn't care about those personally, but now
But together, I kind of would do both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kinda do now.
I would not have done either.
I want to
but now I would do
experience.
both.
That's a new experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Play the board game and then the video game.
Joe Noble says, "I love the cinematic. Don't need gameplay."
Yeah.
Okay, so the
Yeah.
big news was Orion that you straight up believe can't work,
Yes.
or at least the way they say it works.
Yeah.
And the Fallout 76 Battle Royale mode, and it's cool because it's like fire, and it's like it's not just a fire effect, sort of like the blue wall in PUBG or whatever. Like as the scene closes in, it scorches the shit, so it looks like scorched earth, like out and around you. And I like that.
Man,
I like that like graphical detail.
That's what I wanted in Realm for the longest time, is instead of just another fog thing or another storm or whatever,
Hey, game guy.
is like so like in Realm you see all these like shattered planets in the background.
Yeah.
I wanted like as the clock ticks down, the ground you're standing on like cracks.
Like crack and shatter.
and then like falls away. Like you don't have the option of like ooh, let's go into the fog real quick and come. No, there's nothing there.
yeah.
Like that's what I wanted them to do with it. But
See,
so
yeah,
I like
I do
the
like
scorched.
that. I
So
do
I
like
love the scorched earth.
Love you, bud. I was much more excited about the return.
I was
of
really
Scythe
creeped out when he
Hand
went.
in Dragon Ball. Okay, yeah, and so there's some announcements of characters like that people would like wigging out about
Yes.
during Bethesda. That to me, I don't know the lore, but it's like the return of someone super important, and now they're like a dragon slayer or a dragon breeder,
Right.
or they ride dragons or paint dragons, but they're very good at it.
Right.
And
Dragon
I'm
fucker, gotcha.
Super excited, like people in the audience super excited about it. So I do get a little bit of vicarious excitement from that for you guys. Okay, final one. Can you do that? Can you do it in 10 minutes?
You're giving me 10 minutes for Ubisoft?
Is it possible?
All right, here we go. You guys, no interruptions for a brief moment. Just Dance, I'm going to get through the crap. Just Dance 2020. It's 10 years of the same game, as always. Sure to be fun for those who like it. For Honor has a new horror kind of based DLC called Shadows of the Hidokiri, which is basically like a new map to fight on that has like Japanese horror stuff. Rainbow Six Quarantine, 3-player tactical co-op. It's basically Rainbow Six meets Resident Evil. I think
/ Left 4 Dead, maybe.
Yeah, like I think you and I need to. You,
think it
me,
would be
and
down for
Nerdez would rock that.
Yeah.
We'd have so much fun. The Division 2, they're talking about episodes 1, 2, and 3. Couldn't give a crap about it, but like episode 3 has something to do with a manhunt of a seriously important character from
From the first game, and
Yeah.
I think maybe you even go back to New York or something.
Yeah. Uplay Plus, where you pay $14 a month because, more monthly payments is what we want. Division movie is being released soon.
Netflix.
Oh.
Yeah.
With Netflix. I forget the two actors.
cool. I missed that.
No, Jake Gyllenhaal, and I forget there was a lady.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
I forget there was a lady they said, and I feel really bad that I knew Jake Gyllenhaal's, but not her name. But like I just don't know actors in general. So that looks promising. I think Division as a movie would be so much better than the games.
I actually might agree with you.
Roller Champions, I think that they thought Rocket League looked great and decided to change it up and do something different. So it's basically roller derby meets all the other sports in Rocket League.
Is that still Psyonix? Or...
I don't think it's Psyonix.
I have no idea.
It would be. I believe it's developed by Ubisoft. Like I believe it's
Okay.
being
The very,
developed by
very last thing they added for some reason was something called Gods and Monsters. It was a brief, small trailer. It's like, hey, we're making this game, and we made Assassin's Creed Odyssey, so trust us. And that was it. And that's it.
Yes, there's a person standing there, and a Griffin comes in, and they jump at it. And
Yeah, and okay, so got those out of the way. A couple other interesting things. Adventure Time DLC, they're adding that to this game called Brawlhalla. Never heard of it.
Brawlhalla will be one of the games that we do in game night.
Yeah.
Looks fun.
Either in a couple months or maybe in season 3. It may we start season 3 of
And
Brawlhalla.
then they decided to mix Ubisoft games with basically Final Fantasy Tactics, and they have this mobile game called Elite Squad where you get to play as like all the Ubisoft cool characters, like Sam Fisher, Ghost Recon characters, Division characters. They're all in, and they're like,
Cool.
it looks like it's like
all
XCOM
mobile
style.
tactics.
It looks cute. All right. Now the 3 that I want to talk about.
Yeah,
and I'm
let's
just
have-
gonna
we'll
rant.
have
I'm
a
just
little
gonna
bit of
rant.
chat here.
So Rainbow Six Siege, they have a new season. It looks like they're going in the route of Fortnite, where they're like, all right, we're gonna fucking cartoon the shit out of this and be goofy. You can play as basically a James Bond character. It's called Operation Phantom Sight.
So for those of you that you guys probably already know what Rainbow Six Siege is like, but in case you don't, it's a 5v5 game, and it's objective based. But if you eliminate the other team, you win. So inevitably, it just sort of comes down to just you killing the other team. But you can do the objective, or if you fail to do the objective, then that goes one way. But it is a hero-based game. You can play as a rookie or as a recruit or whatever they call it that just has a gun and a grenade. But most of the characters you can pick have some sort of ability. So one person's ability could be like a big shield where they walk real slow, but you basically can't shoot them unless you're behind them. One character can do like an unshootable camera. One person can be able to run silently for a few seconds. It has a Paladin-y, Overwatchy kind of ability stuff to it.
Strategy.
And so the new character being sort of James Bondy. Was that your shit? Did I say your shit?
No. I'm just.
You're saying I got a lot of. You got
I'm
a lot
just
of stuff
reminding you
there.
that this is
Okay.
about
Yeah.
Ubisoft
So
and them.
I like the new.
We can do
I
another
like the
podcast
new
on
thing.
Rainbow Six Siege.
I like
okay,
the new-
Steve-O?
Yes, you're right. I do like. I do like.
A couple other things. They are doing. They have this new Rob McElhenney TV show called Mythic Quest: Raven's Banquet. It's supposed to be like hey, we take all the brilliant guys behind It's Always Sunny, and we're making a TV show about video game developers of like this fictional MMO. Looks funny.
And it looks funny.
All right. And then the last uninteresting thing, apparently they have an Assassin's Creed worldwide tour of like They have like you know how they have like the Legend of Zelda Symphony. Apparently, people think Assassin's Creed music is good.
Or Ubisoft thinks Assassin's Creed music is important.
And they're like, you guys, we're gonna do Assassin's Creed music Symphony 2. I'm like, I don't remember any of y'all's music.
Right. I don't go humming the Assassin's Creed music.
Yeah. I don't exactly.
No, wait. I do remember
so,
one.
All right, the two that's Game of Thrones.
Oh, no, then there's no Assassin's Creed music.
All right,
then.
the two games that made Ubisoft blow my mind. Ghost Recon Breakpoint, October 4th release, beta September 5th. I'm signing myself up for that so quickly.
Yeah, Breakpoint looks great. He brought his dog to E3.
Yeah. He came and he was like, sit! And the dog was like, and everyone was like, and he was like, buy this game. Yeah, and they were like, dude, he did! You're gonna buy this motherfucker. You made your dog sit, I pre-ordered! Looks amazing. John Bernthal plays the villain.
Yeah.
And you're playing against essentially rogue ghosts called wolves.
Ghosts vs. Ghosts.
What I'm hoping this is Ghost Recon Wildlands, everything good about it, get rid of the bad, and also make it insanely freaking hard.
Yeah.
So that you have to be tactical or
punish my balls hard.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah.
And they didn't show much in terms of gameplay other than you got to introduce a little bit more about the main villain and the story. It's totally worth watching the video.
They have released gameplay though.
Right, they released a trailer before this, which hopefully y'all have seen. But what they added to it was not so much gameplay as much as, hey, John fucking Bernthal, the Punisher.
You're saying they should have called them Phantoms, like Phantoms v Ghosts, you mean?
That would have been cool.
You know, I was trying to think of what would be the counter to
I'm going to hit my Watch Dogs rank.
Okay.
I did not play Watch Dogs 2, not because I didn't want to, just never got around to it. But Watch Dogs Legions makes me absolutely want to play that game. Here's why. One, it's London-based. Two, it's like Assassin's Creed back when you had to recruit in one of the games you had to recruit and build your Assassin's team, except that's the entire story. You play as the recruitment. And halfway through the demo, the main character got killed. And then they were like, well, that's it for him.
They start off with
as another character from the squad.
Yeah.
So you're playing the overarching story of like the resistance.
Of
and
Dead
any
Set.
character you can literally, if you walk down the street and you hold your phone at people in the previous games, you could steal money from them and research them. You can recruit anybody to your team and make this team of ragtag badasses.
Now,
so a couple like they showed and they all have their own stats and things. Like there's this one that says this guy's an adrenaline junkie, which means he may randomly die instantly at any time. Like he went skydiving and died. They showed this old lady hacker who has her own version of combat. So she walks slower and stuff like that. So her physical character is hard mode because she walks around slow. But then she's phone robot, and the robot just face hugs you to death and oh my god,
they showed one of her executions where she walks up with her cane and she taps him and the guy turns around and then she two-hand shoots him in the face.
And her combat is cute because she walks up to you and it's almost like she's hugging. She's hug jiu-jitsu. And I'm like, oh my god, old lady. I have to. So, but before the character died, they had this thing. He was downed, and they said you press left bumper surrender, right bumper resist. And I was like, why would you ever surrender?
Why would you ever surrender? Because you can keep them alive and maybe go bust them out.
If you surrender, they get kidnapped. I'm suspecting that they get captured, but you can keep if you're really attached to the character. You surrender, you can save them, they're back in the game.
Right.
You resist, you have a chance to run away and fight it off, but then you're super weak, most likely going to die. Yeah. Permadeath is a big thing. So you have to rebuild your team. Any characters you recruit are fully voiced. They have their own origin missions, so once you get them, you have to play a part of their story. And so that makes me think there's got to be thousands.
But what I want to know is, do they have, 5 templates, right? 5 heroes, and any old lady you find will be the old lady type.
That's the potential downfall. Now, they didn't say that, which makes me think,
but even with
they're
that
setting us up to hope it's not the case, but then it will be the case, and we'll be.
But even that the gameplay elements are really cool because you're finding. You just I'm going to make the old lady squad, and you're just going to use this hacking and this thing, and so I'm just going to start recruiting old ladies, So it's it may not be as completely. It's still a really cool thing, and it's unique that I haven't seen in a game before.
And
but let's not let our imaginations run away with this too much.
A couple other things they'll have hey, we got this mission coming up. We need somebody who can hack drones. So they kind of prioritize certain characters can do certain missions. But what I'm sensing is that different characters with different abilities can do the same mission from different angles and perspectives. So if you play this person who's a drone hacker, they're going to take a drone over and shoot people up. If you play the old lady assassin, she's going to send a robot in and do this.
But I also like that the combats look different depending on the different types of characters. Like we said, the old lady will go up and kick him in the shins and then hit him with a cane or whatever. But one of the gals that they showed fought like John Wick, where she jujitsu down, but her pistol, she boom, boom, was using her pistol like in the combat, and it just looked so fucking cool.
But by and far, I was watching it, and without a doubt, and this is the last thing.
Old Lady Squad will be the meta.
Without a doubt, the hardest thing about this game is going to be remembering to go on the right side to get in. I'm going to be getting in the passenger seat. Let's drive!
Where the steering wheel is, and
like,
get on the wrong side.
Because I was like,
of the
why
car.
is he getting in the passenger? The car's driving at Britain. Shit.
That's gonna fuck us Americans up.
It's gonna be a switch for a bit. But everything about that game looks like exactly what I wanted, but I didn't know I wanted. Like I did not know that I needed a Watch Dogs like that. But then when they're like, hey, here's this, I was like, this is everything I could have wanted.
This is why I'm so excited about Legions, because Watch Dogs is one of my all-time favorite games.
It's really good.
I love the little hacking mechanic, and I love that it's noir. You're the detective in the trench coat. You're trying to find your nephew's and niece's killer. Like that all speaks to me. And so then the second game, it's a lot more colorful and vibrant, and you have your group, right? The DedSec group of people. You still play as Marcus, the main character, but it's more funny, and there's a lot of characters, and there's a lot more to the hacking and everything. But I really missed the original sort of grittiness. This is sort of that balance between the two, where it's like dark and gritty, and sort of like not post-apocalyptic in the sense. Like, what's the?
It reminds me of V for Vendetta.
Yeah.
Except like really techno poppy, and like a lot of color and lights.
So it had the style that I want. Yeah. But still, like the group recruitment thing that I think they were sort of you didn't do the recruitment thing in 2, but you know what I mean? Just that sense of community.
Right.
But also,
the key character that binds you all together is the AI, like that talks to you.
There's like an AI
and
that
that's kind of how like you have this like for me, it's like I would hate to lose a character. I built so much on your story. Game, the idea is that like you're focused on the AI. He's recruiting other people. If I lost this character, man, that really sucks. I got to recruit a new person and keep the main story going of the Resistance. Yeah. The Resistance is the story, not the person.
I'm hoping there's no save points in this game. I hope it auto saves because I don't want to be like, I lost that guy. Let me reload. And try
you don't want to XCOM redo the
That I hope for that.
That is, if that's the case, that I will either absolutely love the game and be like, this is a masterpiece, or I'll be like, fuck
this game.
That's more or less why I spent 12 hours
now
playing
I
that game.
need to love this
Just
game.
reload.
I hope you're right, and I hope that
think
when that's right, when you are right, that I will love it because it's going to teach me to not be so attached.
But it was also like this, just a really good. Maybe I was just in a mood today, but it was like. This is the game for 2019, right? Because you have like all the technology stuff and everything that's Watch Dogs is sort of forewarning about anyway, sort of taken to the extreme. But also the message, and Ubisoft likes to go up there and go, we don't do political stuff. No, The Division's not political. It's just a game about shooting people in the face in an overrun Washington, D.C. after the fall of government and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And so, but they never, what I wish they had said during the Ubisoft press conference, I wish he had just addressed the elephant in the room, because it happens with a bunch of their games. I wish he had said, so is this game a political statement? You're goddamn right it is. Because the whole thing that he did when he was talking about it was, he goes, this is an age where when we fight against tyranny, we have to do it together. This is not an age of heroes. This is where we come together, which is sort of the point of the game of building your legion instead of like one person dismantling an entire system.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, that's a good message. I needed to hear that today.
Yeah. I'll say there's just two things about the Ubisoft. One, okay, so first of all, that game, the one thing I do hope is that it's like the Elder Scrolls games where like if there's a random person on the street and I'm like, I want to recruit him, but instead I decide to go shoot them or whatever. I hope that they are permanently gone and that like not down the street is a carbon copy of that character.
There's another.
I want there to be 16 or 600 NPCs in the game that you can recruit, and any that get lost or killed are permanently lost or killed. It would allow for unlimited replayability.
So I don't know how many voices they have, but everybody is fully voiced. Everybody has a full story and relationships and stuff like that. So with enough templates, it doesn't seem too shitty. If it's 3 or 4 templates of people,
Give us
then
like
it's going to get real thin real quick.
10 to 13
Yeah.
would be great. Like
But
just
all
a
of
nice
the-
variety of people.
But the renders of people all look pretty dramatically different. Like,
Like
no
I
two
can-
people
if
look
I
the
can
same in the
have-
trailer.
I can have similar mission, like, oh, this origin mission is similar to this one. Different character models, different voices, different character names, and maybe the stories are a little differently twined, but
Yeah.
the same mission template, I'm okay with.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
could be okay.
Now, the only other thing I think I really
Game Guy, I'm
disliked,
sorry about your AC and your power, buddy.
disliked about the Ubisoft presentation was so many of the presenters came on, and then we were like, this game is gonna da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
And then
the
nobody
audience was
clapped.
Like, oh.
Sure.
And he's like, yeah, thank you. That's what I was like. I was like, dude, we'll clap when you give us something to clap about. When you're like, this game
We'll just
is
do
going to
it.
be state
We'll
of
just do
the
it.
art. I'm like, aren't they all? I'm like, come on.
So we're going to hang out for a little bit and chat a little bit about E3, maybe a little bit about Avengers, which, by the way, before we go to the fan can, I did pull this up. Interesting about Square's The Avengers and IDOS's The Avengers. This is a service game like Destiny or Anthem, only with a few key differences. Mostly that new characters and regions will be free, and that there won't be any loot boxes. So this is a multiplayer-based game that is a service game, an ongoing game you will play over time, not an MMO per se, but a multiplayer service game.
No loot boxes, I'm in.
I mean, I wonder what's
I
going to be
think-
the service. Are they
I mean,
heroes, guess?
the service aspect, am I continue having to pull more and more money into it? That would be a
Are
little...
you creating your own hero and working with the Avengers, or are you
I don't want
choosing
that.
an Avenger?
Are we getting loot? Or I want to know if are we getting Avengers in the loot boxes or whatever? You know?
Yeah.
Like, can we get more?
Well, there are no loot boxes. In
Oh,
the
I'm
game.
sorry.
Yeah, no loot boxes, but like most of these service games are loot-based games. So even without the loot boxes, it's you go out and you do missions and you get new loot and build up your stuff, right?
Yep.
So what happens if you take away the loot? Like, let's say you're playing.
Unless it's just they're referring to no payable loot boxes. Like, oh, you give us money, we'll give you this. Like, there
Yeah.
might be like in-game, you do enough of this, you earn a new.
But if you're,
I don't know.
but even with that though, if you're playing Thor, you're probably not going to have different armors you put on over time. Like because you're just Thor. Now, if you had your own personal character that you were upgrading over time, that wasn't an established part of the Marvel universe or whatever yet, you could change your armors and become the superhero you want to be or whatever. But you know what I mean? I guess you could technically have like
create your own
I
character.
found a
is
new-
I would be too intimidated.
new bits
like
of
I'm
newer
like,
Thor armor
I
or
need to
something.
create a character who's worthy of being around the Avengers, and I'm like, I'm
My
Booger
name's
Boy,
Shit Sticker.
and Thor's like, Booger Boy, well done. Welcome to the Avengers, and I'm like, thanks, Stuart.
I fire beams out of my arms, but I made them brown like poop. You know?
He's like, a welcome comrade to the Avengers. Thanos won't see this. Like, dude, that's why I don't want to make your own character.
a formidable foe to Thanos. Shit.
That's why I don't want the make your own character, because it will be like the time I saw Return of the Jedi remade, and they had that CG guy come in singing in the Jabba's palace, and he's like super CG. And he's like, "Hey, how's it going? I'm CG." I'm like, "Oh my god!"
Oh, up in your face, and you're like, is there?
I'm like,
is there
"Dude,
a
get out of the way!
tremble
I'm trying
on
to
the
watch Star
camera?"
Wars.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm trying to watch Star Wars.
I played through like the intro to DC Universe Online,
Yeah.
and it's very because you create your own
Yeah.
superhero, and I don't know. I mean, I haven't played a lot of it, but so far, like, it's not.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so,
I mean, there's. Or go ahead.
Oh well, no. Tell me your thought.
There's just like
Don't
base powers that you can choose from, right? Like.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
just-
like, you can't just do anything,
Yeah.
but like you
There's
can.
a fair amount of.
I'm sure there's like
But-
super strength or ice powers or super speed. And,
Amazonian
Yeah, I mean,
sword
there's,
fighting.
There's a lot to choose from. Like, there's a lot to choose from.
So the last thing that we do before we call it a night is we go to the can. This is the Gun Nerds Fan Can. You can ask us anything by tweeting us at Gun Nerds using hashtag FanCan, or if you're watching on Twitch, you can redeem your nerd cred and put a question in the can. Or if you see us out and about, like this will be a question from SoonerCon this weekend that you can add to the Fan Can. So someone we met this weekend asked this question.
Okay, that makes sense, because this question, I feel like for 5 years has had an answer, or at least you've had an answer. It says, why blue?
That's a good question.
Now, clearly the question has to do with this, but blue because when sad,
Because
feel blue.
I'm blue. I'm
see that.
I will
Why
die.
Why blue? Okay. Why blue?
My favorite part is that you showed it to the camera and like, see,
Oh,
guys?
I don't think the camera can even see it. I think it's just
Yeah, because like
looks a
nobody's gonna be
white
like, hold
sheet.
on, let me zoom in.
Like, there we
Jonathan
go.
made that crap right up.
Who fucking wrote this?
Enhance.
That's funny.
But
See, yeah,
yeah,
I
why did you dye blue? Why not
Well,
pink, green, orange, purple?
because to me the greatest sort of one of the cultural touchstones I think like defined my generation, and like since their I guess downfall or whatever, I think that culturally I don't know that we'd ever recover from it, but Blockbuster. I was a big fan of Blockbuster Video, and so
No.
I just went but when after the last Blockbuster was like, we're here, you know, save us. I was like,
he usually wears yellow
I'll do it.
sunglasses
Yeah.
to get the blue and the yellow.
But so like
yeah,
60 years from now,
yeah.
grandchild on your lap, Grandpa,
Yeah.
why blue? Well, back in my day, when we wanted movies, we had to go to Blockbuster, and I felt it was.
It was
Somebody needs to remember.
remember Blockbuster.
It won't be grandchild. It'll be like
Like, young nephew.
young, yeah,
Or something.
yeah, like not even his child.
yeah.
For
Like,
me, the grandchild envision was this old man Steve-O with like vibrant blue hair.
still,
yeah,
Yeah, still rocking
Yeah.
blue.
Or like
I've like
you've
a-
gone completely bald,
like
but like
a
your
cigar-
3 Homer hairs are like
still, or like a slather blue paint
like
on the
Sharpie
top.
blue, yeah.
Like, let me tell you. So yeah, yeah. Fuck Redbox. That's why. That's why blue. You game guy stepped on a toad. Fantastic game guy. We're actually pretty much coming up to the end of the time. We'll hang out with you guys for a few more minutes before we go. If you're watching on Twitch, if you guys are watching on YouTube or listening to our audio podcast, we appreciate you coming by. And we will see you next week. Next week is going to be game night again.
Okay.
And you guys are playing Puzzle Quest against each other.
All right.
And that's going to be
Is
the
this
time.
like is
Sweet.
this a champion
Never heard
game?
anything about it.
Not yet. Not yet. But everybody has 2 except Alex has 1.
Oh man, I want to put my fucking name on that board.
I mean, may as well, right?
I mean, you're coming at the end of the season.
Who gives a shit? Last 2 games.
Part
of
of
the
me has
season,
been sitting
can
here
tie
like,
it up.
you know, I go
Or
on
keep
and I watch
Alex
you guys
from
play
tying it
games,
up.
and I'm like, if I was there, I'd freaking win every single one of these games.
Well,
So maybe I
season-
shouldn't.
And season 1,
Yeah.
I only made 3 game nights, 2 random game nights, and then the championship, and I just was
And he
undefeated.
won the championship. Yeah, that's true. So join us next week. My name is Steve-O.
I'm Alex.
I'm Raven 1.
And I'm JB.
You got out ahead of it. That
Yeah,
was good.
yeah.
We'll see you next week.